What if I told you that one of the world's richest billionaires never graduated high school? What if I told you he couldn't even read properly until he was 18? And what if I told you that this same person would go on to build an empire worth over $4 billion, launch rockets into space, and become one of the most recognizable entrepreneurs on the planet? Today, we're diving into the absolutely mind-blowing story of Richard Branson. And I guarantee that by the end of this video, you'll discover the one secret that separates ordinary dreamers from extraordinary achievers. But first, if you're ready to unlock the mindset of a true business legend, smash that like button right now, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell because you won't want to miss what's coming next. And here's a challenge. Comment below with the word unstoppable if you believe anyone can overcome their circumstances. Let's see how many future entrepreneurs are watching. July 18th, 1950. A baby is born in London who would struggle in ways that would crush most people's dreams before they even began. Richard Charles Nicholas Branson entered the world with severe dyslexia, a condition that would make his school years a living nightmare. Picture this. You're sitting in class, and while everyone else is reading fluently, the words on the page look like scrambled letters. Your teachers think you're lazy. Your classmates whisper behind your back. You feel stupid, worthless, different. This was Richard's reality every single day. But here's where the story gets interesting. And this is crucial for what's coming later. At 16 years old, Richard made a decision that shocked everyone. He dropped out of high school. His parents were devastated. His teachers said he'd amount to nothing. Society labeled him a failure. But what happened next will blow your mind. Instead of giving up, Richard started a magazine called Student from his bedroom. Not just any magazine, a publication that would challenge the establishment and give young people a voice. With no business experience, no formal education, and barely enough money to print the first issue, he sold 50,000 copies. But the real genius move? He reinvested every penny back into the business. While his former classmates were studying for exams, Richard was learning the most valuable lesson of all. And I'll reveal exactly what that lesson was in just a moment, because it's the same principle that would make him billions. Now, before I tell you about his next move that would change everything, I need you to guess something. What do you think was Richard's biggest advantage over traditionally educated entrepreneurs? Was it his fearlessness? His creativity? His willingness to take risks? Keep that guess in mind, because the answer is going to surprise you, and it's probably not what you think. But first, let me show you how this high school dropout was about to revolutionize an entire industry. 1972. Richard is now 22, and he makes another bold move that everyone called crazy. He decides to sell records by mail order at a cheaper price than traditional stores. The name he chose for his company? Virgin. Why Virgin? Because he was completely new to business, a virgin in the entrepreneurial world. But here's the genius part that most people miss. While established record companies were focused on protecting their profits, Richard was focused on something completely different. He was obsessed with customer experience. He wasn't just selling records. He was selling an experience, a feeling, a lifestyle. The result? Virgin Records became a massive success. But Richard wasn't satisfied. He had a bigger vision, one that would seem absolutely insane to most people. He wanted to take on British Airways, one of the most established airlines in the world. A high school dropout with a record company wanted to start an airline. The experts laughed. The media mocked him. Even his own advisors thought he'd lost his mind. But what happened next proves why thinking differently is the ultimate superpower. 1984. Virgin Atlantic takes flight. But here's what's incredible. Richard didn't just create another airline. He revolutionized the entire flying experience. While other airlines treated passengers like cargo, Virgin Atlantic treated them like guests. They introduced lie-flat beds in business class, entertainment systems, better food, and most importantly, they made flying fun again. The established airlines tried to crush him. They spread rumors, attempted hostile takeovers, and used every dirty trick in the book. Richard was fighting a war against giants with unlimited resources. But remember that secret advantage I mentioned earlier? This is where it becomes crystal clear, and it's the same advantage that you can use starting today. Here's Richard Branson's ultimate secret, the one thing that separated him from everyone else. He never let his lack of formal education become an excuse. Instead, he turned it into his greatest strength. While MBA graduates were paralyzed by complex business theories and analysis paralysis, Richard was taking action. While others waited for the perfect plan, he was learning by doing. While competitors were stuck in "that's how we've always done it" thinking, Richard was asking, what if we did it completely differently? His dyslexia forced him to think visually and simplify complex problems. His lack of formal business education meant he wasn't trapped by conventional wisdom. His outsider status gave him the freedom to break rules that others didn't even know they could break. But the story doesn't end there. What Richard did next will leave you speechless. Fast forward to today. Richard Branson's Virgin Group controls over 400 companies. He's launched Virgin Galactic, literally taking tourism to space. He's been knighted by the Queen. He owns private islands. His net worth exceeds $4 billion. But here's the most incredible part. He's still the same person who couldn't read properly at 18. He still struggles with dyslexia. He still doesn't have a traditional business education. Yet he's achieved what most Harvard MBA graduates only dream of. Why? Because he understood something that most people never learn. Richard Branson proved that your starting point doesn't determine your destination. Your circumstances don't define your potential. Your past doesn't predict your future. Every limitation can become a liberation. Every weakness can become a strength. Every setback can become a setup for a comeback. The question isn't whether you have the right education, the right connections, or the right resources. The question is, do you have the right mindset? Richard Branson started with nothing but an idea and an unstoppable belief that he could make it work. He failed countless times, but he never quit. He was criticized endlessly, but he never stopped believing in his vision. So here's my question for you. What's your excuse? What story are you telling yourself about why you can't succeed? What limitations are you using as a reason to stay small? If a dyslexic high school dropout can build a space company, what can you achieve when you stop making excuses and start taking action? If this story inspired you, absolutely smash that like button. It helps more people discover these incredible success stories. Subscribe and hit that notification bell because next week, I'm sharing the unbelievable story of another entrepreneur who went from homeless to billionaire, and their secret will shock you. And remember that challenge I gave you at the beginning? Comment unstoppable below if you're ready to stop letting your circumstances define your future. I read every single comment. I want to hear about your journey. What's one small action you're going to take today to move closer to your dreams? Share it in the comments. Let's build a community of unstoppable achievers together. Until next time, remember, your story isn't over. It's just beginning. And if you want to see more incredible rags to riches stories, check out our entire playlist right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.